Debt is pretty common for all of us here in Canada. However, you don't have to be in debt forever. Breaking free from debt is hard, and how did I say that is because I have done that before. I have been there, and I know and I acknowledge that it's really hard to get out of debt. And this video is about all the signs that you will see in a person that is bound to be in debt forever. The first sign is consistently living beyond their means. What this means is that you consistently spend money beyond what you make. So for example, is that you make $3,000 per month, you probably spend around $3,000 or more per month. That's why when you're in the cycle of spending too much money that is beyond what you make in a month, you are bound to be in debt forever. And if you're constantly doing this, you are probably relying on credit cards, credit lines, or other types of loans just to cover basic living expenses every month. And if you continue this cycle over and over, it gets really hard to get out of that debt. The second sign is you only pay minimum per month in your debt. For example, is if you have $5,000 in your credit card that is owing, and credit cards are around 20%, let's say 20% fixed in interest. That means that if you pay only $80 per month, you are even barely covering that interest alone, and you are not making any payment on the principal amount. And if you're doing that every month, you are bound to having this balance grow bigger and bigger each month because you are not making any kind of payment on the principal balance. Sign number 3 is if you don't have any emergency savings or emergency funds set aside. So you may have heard emergency savings everywhere.
Emergency fund.
Emergency fund.
Emergency fund.
But there is a reason why we always mention this thing. It's because this emergency saving will literally save you if you are in trouble financially or if you have some kind of emergency from the word itself. So emergency funds will serve as your caution, will serve as like your pillow in case you will have some emergency things coming up in your life, so that you will not get into more debt. Because for example, if you have health emergency that comes up and you need money, you have this emergency fund set aside that you can use anytime so that you don't have to get a credit line or go into more debt. Sign number 4 is if you borrow money to pay for your debt. So one example is if you have a credit card and you want to pay off this card, and you thought that it's a good thing to get a loan so that you can pay off this credit card. Now that is a common debt trap. This practice only increases your debt over time, and because of that, it's even more hard to get out of debt. Sign number 5 is that if you keep ignoring financial education. So if you keep ignoring getting financial education just because you think it's not important, then that means you will never get out of that debt that you have right now. The reason is that financial literacy will make you wake up from that dream of keeping yourself in debt. If you invest some time into learning how to manage your money, how to invest, or how to save, this will make an impact into your finances. This will make a very big impact over time. And because of that, you will not just get out of debt, but you will have savings and investments elsewhere that you will not need to worry about getting into debt again. Sign number 6 is that if you rely on luck. Some people does not want to do the hard work of getting the basic financial literacy or managing their debt so that they will not get into this cycle of getting into more and more debt. They just want to rely on luck, such as winning into lottery. You may have encountered such people with this kind of thinking because this is very common, as I've observed in the community, especially in the Filipino community in Canada. This is not to paint negativity around our community, and also winning a lottery is not bad at all, but it is a very risky strategy. Why? Because it's very rare to win in a lottery, and if you rely on that luck, you may never get out of debt if you just want to pay off your debt if you ever win in that lottery. The last but not the least sign is denial. Now, I've seen a lot of people that are denial into having debts. I've heard a lot of people that says if you're in Canada, you have to be in debt, which is not really the case. So if you deny the fact that you are spending way more than what you make, then that's probably why you're in debt, and you will never get out of debt. Because in any trouble that we are in, the first thing that you need to do to get out of that situation is to accept the fact that you are in that situation. So if you deny that you are in debt because you're thinking that it's common, it's normal, and I should be in debt while being in Canada, while living in Canada, then that's your very big sign that you will probably never get out of that debt. So those are the pretty common signs of a person that will probably never get out of debt. Recognizing these signs and admitting to yourself that you are in debt is the first step that you need to take so that you will slowly get out of that debt. So that's everything for this video. I hope you guys find this helpful, and if you do, please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel so that you will get more contents like this in the future. I'll see you on my next one. Bye bye.